Remember, the goal is not to stop feeling, but to manage how you feel and to feel without letting your emotions control you. In one of my past videos, I dissected the concept of emotions and how emotions really work. I'm going to be sharing how to understand and control your emotions. But before I do that, I need you to understand that your emotions are not just feelings. They are informations that your brain uses to understand your environment and to detect threats. Normally, your emotions go through two different pathways before you can express them through your behavior. When there is a situation, you name it through your subjective experience. It could either make you feel angry, sad, happy, disappointed, or indifferent. Whatever feelings the situation triggers is highly subjective, which simply means however you feel after an event is not triggered by the event itself, but by your personal interpretation of the event. Let's take, for example, you made plans with a friend and the friend cancelled last minute. It's normal to feel disappointed. First, you try to attach meaning to why your friend did what they did. You could accuse them of negligence, you could accuse them of not caring enough, or you could feel empathetic and calm by making excuses for your friend and giving them grace, of course. You have to keep in mind that your reactions to things take a split second, which means you can easily overreact to things. You could easily be reactive to things that are not necessarily worth your energy, which at the end could cause regret. And this is why it is important to learn to manage your emotions by firstly validating your own feelings. Remember, the goal is not to stop feeling, but to manage how you feel and to feel without letting your emotions control you. Acknowledge how you feel. Whenever you are having that rush of emotions, acknowledge how you feel. You could tell yourself, oh, I feel sad today that my friend cancelled. But that's okay, that's just a feeling. When you take this step by first naming how you feel and acknowledging how you feel, you tend to approach such situation tactfully and wisely. So when you are having this rush of emotions after a situation or an event, try to validate your own feelings first. Acknowledge how you feel. I feel this way, but that's okay because you're allowed to feel. You're human, you were hurt, and you're allowed to express your feelings. Now, after acknowledging your feelings, the next thing you do is rewrite the script, to rewrite the story you tell yourself after such situation. Instead of trying to force yourself to be positive, you should aim for being flexible. Instead of telling yourself disastrous stories that would feed your anxiety, maybe by telling yourself, oh, they probably cancelled because I'm boring, they probably cancelled because they don't like me. Switch and tell yourself the fact, what is true. Whatever reason that made your friend cancel the plan is unknown yet. But all you know is your friend cancelled. So instead of starting to make stories, because that's what your brain will do, it will try to make up stories, try to find a reason, even before your friend will tell you, oh, this is why. You have to know the kind of story you tell yourself in that moment, because that is what would fuel the emotions. Now, if you tell yourself stories like, oh, they hate me, oh, they don't like me, you're feeding your anxiety. You would end up feeling sad and bad about the whole thing. Acknowledge what is true. Yes, you're feeling hurt because your friend cancelled, and understand that, okay, whatever reason that made them cancel is best known to them. You, on the other hand, try to not overthink it. Whatever you're feeling, understand that this difficult moment will definitely pass. And when it passes, you will no longer feel this rush of emotions that you're currently feeling. You see, when you practice this, you build inner peace and you become wiser with the way you approach things and situations and even people that hurt you. You need to consistently practice this to build the habit. And when you do this, you trick your nervous system to cool off. You teach your mind to approach situations with kindness and mindfulness. Now, after validating your feelings and rewriting the stories you tell yourself when hurtful situations happen, the next thing you should do is find out what is really upsetting you. Identify what is really hurting you. Why are you upset? And that is where communication comes in. If your friend cancels a plan that you both had, ask them what's up. What happened? Wait for them to explain to you. Sometimes our mind picks up on little things. And this does not only apply to friendship. It could be your work environment, it could be in a gathering, in a community you belong, it could be anywhere. So you have to know how to manage your emotions. Managing your emotions is different from not feeling. If you constantly feel disrespected, it could be something within that needs to be dealt with. If you constantly feel like you're not loved, it could also be something within that needs to be dealt with. And have a clear communication with the person, your friend who canceled the plan. And oftentimes you'll find out it is not always what you think, because our mind is so used to thinking about the worst case scenario, and it is just our mind's way of protecting us. Do not suppress your feelings, because when you suppress your feelings, you build resentment. And keep this in mind, when you suppress your feelings, it leads to unnecessary and unwanted stress. When you react impulsively by yelling, blaming, being angry, it leads to not just stress but ruined relationships too. The wisest approach to successfully managing your emotions is to listen to your emotions, listen to your feelings, validate them, acknowledge how you feel, acknowledge the information, and then take a pause to slowly and gently decide how you want to behave. When you do this continuously, like I said, it cannot be achieved in a day. Being unable to control your emotions is behavioral. So you need to constantly practice managing your emotions. No matter how hurtful the situation might be, you approach them tactfully and wisely. And that is one vital step to growth. That would be all. If you're ever not in the mood to watch videos, I have made audio versions available. You can tune in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts by searching up Psychodynamics of Growth by Kelvin Odenusi. See you in the next video.